So let's talk about icons now, and I'm on the page for the icons, but before that let's go to one of the previous pages and just take a very quick look at these here. Now here I was telling you that there are three kinds of logotypes basically. One of them are the logograms, where we don't have any pictures at all, just the text. Then we have these things called pictograms, where we actually have images that are representations of whatever it is that the company is doing. So for the coffee thing, for example, we have a coffee plant. For the farmer, we have plants. And then for the pet shop, we have animals. But then we also have ideograms, which are abstract. So they don't show us exactly a representation of what it is, but they give us an abstract concept of what the company does. Now, one thing that you have to be very aware of is that you are not making pictures. Instead of that, you are making symbols, and these are not pictures, they are visual condensations. And while pictures tell stories that are part of a timeline, symbols show a single condensed instance. There's no before and there's no after, there's no story. So what I want to do is I want to actually find an icon for a cat logotype, something that has to do with cats. So if I were to go on FreePic and look at the vector images there, a lot of what I would see would actually be telling a story. So for example, if I look at this here, this is telling me a story. This cat was coming from somewhere, is going somewhere, is riding a motorbike, etc., etc. So I don't really want that. When I'm looking for a symbol, I don't want to have this much detail. I don't want this much of a story. I want something that is much, much more simple. And the good place to look for icons, for symbols, is this website called the Noun Project, which is where I am right now. And they have over 3 million icons. Now I realize that there are other icon websites as well, but this is the one that I'm going to recommend. This is the one that I like to use. So if I look for a cat here, then I will find things that are considerably simpler. So for example, this here, this is very, very simple. It's a very simple silhouette of a lying cat. We have faces which are quite neutral. Now this one looks a little bit scared, yes, so this is not one that I would probably use. This one looks a little bit scary, so probably not this one either. But if I look just for a little bit, I will find something that I'm sure will fit my purposes, which is going to be neutral and yet give a kind of a feeling about the site. And let's see. How about this one right here? Now this is a friendly looking cat, but he's not exactly telling a story. So now the way that the Noun Project works is that you can have a pro download, which is just $3 for an icon, which means that you can do anything you like with that icon and you don't need to attribute the creator of the icon. But then you also have this thing called the basic download, where you have to give an attribution. You must attribute the creator for Creative Commons license, but I'm going to do that. And then if I were to really use this in a website, I would definitely give the attribution, which is this person here, Royan Biaja from the Noun Project, but for now I'm just going to download the PNG. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to then open this and show you what to do with this on Photopea, because we need to make it white before we can actually work with it. But just before we do that, let's also go and take a look at abstract icons, because remember what I was talking about here, that there are also abstract icons that you can use that make things more conceptual. So let's look at that as well. So I just wrote in abstract. And now the kinds of icons that I have here I would use for conceptual things, where I want to give an idea rather than actually show a representation of something. So for example, this one here would be a good one to show motion, maybe, around this circular object. This one here would be a good one to show unity, coming together, working as a group. as would this one actually. However, with this one I would be careful because there might be references to the swastika, and I would be careful with that. It's a very nice icon, but it does have a kind of like a swastika, Second World War kind of feeling, so I would be a little bit careful with that one. Now these here are very nice. I would probably use them for something like a design firm or an architecture firm, and this one too. Like this one up here would be very good for an audio company or a video company. The let's see, what else do we have here? These here look a little bit like envelopes, so they might be good for communications or logistics or something like that. This one would be good for networking, and so on and so on. So now let's just go to Photopea, and let me just show you what you need to do. It's very easy to do. Just open this, and I just want to make this white so that I can work with it in Wix. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to, and also this is since this is a PNG, this is on a transparent background, which we can tell by this checkerboard, this gray checkerboard here. That means that it's transparent. So all we need to do is we need to go to Image, Adjustments, and then to Hue Saturation right here, and then take the slider at the bottom, the lightness, and just bring it all the way over, which will make it white. And then all I need to do is save it. I want to keep this text because I want to remember who I need to attribute later when I get to that point. So now I'm just going to go export as PNG, and it'll just save it. And then when I brought it to Wix, it ended up looking like this, but let me show you how that actually happened. So if I click here, it takes me to the site files, and so this is the one that I imported. You can see it. I mean, I still have it here. I just went upload media, went to that white icon, this one right here. I have two of them right now, and I just said open, and then there it was. Now if I click on this here, and if I just hover over it, and then there are these three dots, I can go to crop and edit. And when I go to crop and edit and I go to adjust, then what I can do is I need to make this just a tiny little bit darker so that I can see what I'm doing. One thing I can do to this is I can add a tint, so I can just give it a color. Now I don't want this bright pink cat, I want to have a different kind of color, maybe more like an orange. And that's really basically all I need to do. And then just save it, and then go add to page, and there he is. So let me just move these over. Wix is telling me that I'm putting things outside the grid, which we will come to later. Now here's the crop tool. So I don't want to see this while I'm designing, obviously. I just want to keep that so that I remember the name of this person later when I need to use it. So I'm just going to come in, and go apply. And by the way, this is on a transparent background, so if I just put it over this text here, you can see that. And then all I would, in order to continue to make a logo, I would just need to take a text, put it next to it if I'm working on Wix, which we will come to in a future tutorial, and that would be the beginning of my logo type. Okay, so this was a brief introduction to icons, and I will see you later.